What's going on, man? Welcome back to the basement. I'm Ron, and this is going to be a little bit of a different style of video. This is a live stream, but I'm going to see kind of what we can do here where I'm just going to go into this video like I'm recording a normal video in the basement. So I'm going to have some graphics I'm going to throw up on the screen. Hopefully everything is crispy clean, but we had football last night, fellas. And I want to get into that. Hold up. I was about to go grab some water. But let me get into what we're about to get into for a second here. I want to talk about the Thursday night game. We had football last night. Super wild game. Great to see football finally back. So I wanted to hop on here, kind of give my thoughts about that. Now, before we get into that, make sure you go down below, subscribe, leave a like. Now, we don't have an intro here. Like I said, this is going to be pretty much a normal video. I'm going to be interacting with chat a little bit. But I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts without having to edit the video and all that. So let's get into the intro here. But this is what we got here. And now I'm back. So let's talk about the game last night, fellas. Let's talk about the game. It was great. Everything looked good. Now, hold on. Let me pull up the game on my laptop real quick. Or just like the score, I guess. What was it, like 28-26? But it was a great game. Probably one of the best games we've had in terms of, just a Thursday night football game to start out the season. I feel like last year, it was a blowout with the Chiefs. It was a blowout with the Chiefs and the Texans. I feel like there was a game where it was like the Bears versus the Packers and it sucked. So 31-29, it was amazing. 58 pass attempts from Dak, 50 pass attempts from Tom Brady. Just all of the passing, all of the high scoring. It was beautiful. Now, I want to break down, team by team, really give you guys my takeaways from a player perspective and kind of get into, a fantasy perspective. And with the offense that we're looking at with the Cowboys, they went crazy. This is a team that's going to run a lot of plays. They ran 58 pass attempts last night. Last year, the career high or the season high on pass attempts per game was 42.6 pass attempts per game. So I love what Kellen Moore does here. He's pushing the pace all game long. And I expect Dallas to kind of be in that, 40 to 45 pass attempts range, which is great for fantasy. They're going to have this high-flying offense again this season. That first 4-game stretch, I do believe it was a little bit overblown in the offseason. I don't think they're going to repeat that. But we're talking about a team that is going to be up there in pass attempts. And the first guy I want to talk about, this is what everybody was talking about on the Twitter timeline today, Ezekiel Elliott. And I don't want to take any victory laps. Look, I'm not going to take any victory laps. It's literally week 1. But I've been getting nothing but hate in my comments when I say anything bad about Ezekiel Elliott. And last night, he looked bad. He didn't look like a talented player. He had 13 touches for 39 total yards, 4.9.5 PPR points last night. Now, we knew this was going to be a tough matchup. They don't have Zach Martin. Buccaneers are a really, really good run defense. Now, what can we take away from this? Like I said, I've been victory lapping it, or I'm not going to victory lap, but I haven't been. I don't even know what that is. But I have been fading Zeke all offseason. Now, the thing that is true is that Zeke is going to be getting volume all season. Now, look at this, fellas. We're going to be even showing graphics here. Let me know if that graphic is big enough. I'm still trying to figure things out on here. I think we're at 1080p right now. We're going to have graphics up. This is going to be like a normal video. And Zeke played 84% of the snaps last night. He handled 79% of the carries. He's still that guy on the ground. We just have two problems going forward with Zeke. And the first one is I don't think that he has that juice. I don't think that he looked that great last night. I don't think that he looked like he had a lot of wiggle and like he looks very explosive. This was a guy that you draft for volume. I don't think that he has that same talent. This is what we've been talking about. I don't think he has that talent of a Derrick Henry, of an Aaron Jones. Just a very elite running back. I think that his value is kind of similar. And this is what we've been saying all offseason. Is his value similar to like a Najee or a Mixon, guys that you're drafting for volume, not not volume paired with elite efficiency. You know, he kind of looked sluggish. He couldn't get anything going last night. He had a 48.4 rush grade last night. He didn't look great. And the other problem is that Zeke didn't get involved in the passing game. You know, in a game with 58 pass attempts, he had the perfect game script to see if Zeke was going to be involved in the passing game. He got 2 targets on 58 pass attempts last night, a 3.5% target share. That's tough. Like, he's not going to be involved in the passing game like people thought in the offseason, where, you know, I've seen people say, you know, 75 to 85 targets was in his range of outcomes. I think we're looking at something more like, you know, 50 targets is in his range of outcomes. And the problem is that you needed those targets for him to, you know, hit. Because if you're drafting Zeke, there's a lot of guys out there that drafted Zeke 105, 104. For him to hit at that price, he needs to see that passing volume. And I think the only out you have now for him to really hit is just to, this is going to be a high-scoring offense. Maybe he falls in the end zone 12, 13, 14 times. And I think a lot of people are going to say that the sucker play is to sell now. People are all going to say, you know what? It was a bad matchup. Let's not bail on Zeke yet. And I'm not saying to bail on Zeke, but everybody and their brother on Twitter is saying buy low on Ezekiel Elliott. If you can sell Ezekiel Elliott for anybody that has a first-round ADP, I put this on Twitter. If you can sell him for anyone that has a first-round ADP, I mean, I would sell him for Tyreek, Diggs, Kelsey. I would sell him for Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, but these are all guys I had ahead of Ezekiel Elliott going into the season. I would sell him for Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones. Like, if you could swap out of that and there's somebody that wants to like buy low and you can get, you know, Aaron Jones out of the deal. I don't think you can, but I'm saying just if you could. Now, I wouldn't go to like second round value. If I wouldn't be selling him for Antonio Gibson, I wouldn't be selling him for, you know, Gibson, Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, those guys. But if you could just, you know, re-roll your first round pick, I would. But that's about as far as I go. I wouldn't be panicking just yet. And like I said, I actually say, so when we're talking about like buys and sells when it comes to these players after the first game, I know a lot of people want to say, you know, it's only the first game, and it genuinely is only the first game. But I think that one of the things that are lost is that the first game gives us the most information we've ever gotten compared to the first game, compared to what we're going to be looking at with like what we've been doing all offseason. You know, the first game, that's giving us real information, on the field information. So we have to adjust. Like last year, I remember you don't want to be too stubborn to what your takes were the year before, because I remember I was lower on Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. I didn't think that Josh Allen was a great quarterback. I didn't think that situation was going to work out. So I remember making a video. Remember, this is a young Ron Stewart, like sub 250 subscribers. And I was saying you should be selling Stephon Diggs high and Josh Allen high because I didn't think that they were going to be that good going into the season. They had one good week, jump off that boat. When you see a player have a good week, when you see a player have a bad week in week one, I think it's actually better to overreact than underreact and kind of sit on your hands. That's just something that I've learned over the years. Now, like I said, I wouldn't be selling Zeke for like super cheap. Wouldn't be selling him for DK, Hopkins, any of those second round guys. But if you can flip him into a first, I would have. Now, when we look at the wide receiver group looked great. We've been talking about CD and Amari all offseason. I think they both probably end up as, you know, they could end up as top 12 wide receivers, the both of them. Amari saw 139 and 2 on 16 targets. And CeeDee Lamb's going to get a little bit overshadowed, but CeeDee Lamb saw 15 targets, 7 catches, 104 yards, and a touchdown. When you can have two wide receivers in this offense both see 15 plus targets on the same team in the same game, like, that's perfect. That's perfect. And I love the way Kellen Moore used them. You know, last year we had this situation where CeeDee Lamb was getting used a lot in the slot, and he was kind of only looked at like as like a slot only guy, kind of getting compared to Juju, because Juju was also this slot only guy. The problem is that Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb are now kind of splitting time in the slot. So now we have this situation where CeeDee is no longer just this slot guy. He's a legit outside NFL wide receiver. He played in the slot 40% last night. Amari played in the slot 37% of the time. So they're going to be mixing a lot of it where Amari will be at flanker. You'll have CeeDee in the slot, and they're just going to be rotating a lot of these guys around. Now, Gallup didn't play in the slot too much, but he got hurt. He looked good before his injury. We don't have any more information on his injury, so I don't really have anything else of a take to give when it comes down to Michael Gallup. But the interesting part is that when we're talking about CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper playing on the outside versus the slot, when Cedric Wilson came in, so he's going to be Cedric Wilson will be the wide receiver 3 if Michael Gallup is gone. Cedric Wilson will be that wide receiver 3, and he played like 85% of his snaps in the slot. So if Michael Gallup misses extended time, we're going to see Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb get bumps up in targets and points. They're both going to be playing on the outside most of the time, so that'll be really interesting. Now, I probably should have had that graphic off the screen the entire time I was going through the wide receivers, but it's all good. And the second group I want to talk about is the tight ends. And I think if you have Blake Jarwin, I'm not saying I'd say you could comfortably cut Blake Jarwin. You know, I have him in some places, but it's an absolute split where you even want to favor Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz had 57 snaps to Jarwin's 48. Schultz saw 6 targets to Jarwin's 3. So I don't think Jarwin's startable for the foreseeable future. You could probably cut him for like a nice waiver wire pickup. I think Schultz is an interesting waiver pickup in deep leagues, but I think they probably split time at tight end. And then we'll just cover Dak for a second here. I don't know. Let me know if I'm kind of exaggerating. I feel like Dak looked great. He didn't look as mobile as he usually does. Not that that's like a huge concern, because I think they're going to be throwing enough this season to the point where it's fine. I could be wrong. Has he always, like, I don't know, when he was like scrambling and kind of getting out of the pocket, he looked kind of slow. Now, I will say regardless, he had like, I want to say 13 rushing yards, but he threw for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, 72% completion percentage. The injury is overblown. All that is fine. So he's good to go. He's fine. I'm just saying he didn't look as mobile as I remember him being, but he could have just always been kind of slow. Now, let's go over to the Buccaneers side from this game. And just to take a second to talk about real football here, I love Todd Bowles, man. Look at this fucking defense. This guy, Todd Bowles is one of the best D coordinators in the league. He stacks, like, what is this, like 7 in the box. What is that, like Jason Pierre-Paul head up on the center. He's got Devin White on the guard, and then he has Vita Vea as like a defensive end in this formation. Like you literally can't run against that unit. You can't run. So I will give Zeke some of the benefit of the doubt. Is I don't know how you run into the teeth of that. There's no way. There's no way you run into that. Now, Tampa Bay had a lot of, Tampa Bay, like, they cut it close, so you could say, like, the defense, defense wasn't that great. They gave up how many points? They gave up, like, 29 points to the Cowboys, but the Cowboys are a great defense, and Tampa Bay had, three turnovers? I want to say Brady threw 2 picks. I want to say Ronald Jones had that 1 fumble, so there was a bunch of outside factors. Or not outside factors, but literally just spots where, the defense was put in a lot of bad spots from a field position perspective. And Brady looked great last night. Like, what is he, like? He's 44 now. Just playing out of his damn mind. Like, I'm sold that he is going to be great again. Like, that deep shot to AB, when AB hit that little stutter, went deep, he put that right in the breadbasket. Like, I don't know, what is he now? Like, he's 44. We're now going to talk about 45 next season. Like, he could play until he's like 47, 48. It's crazy. It's genuinely crazy. He put up 32 for 50, 379 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. And the picks weren't really his fault. And I want to say one of them tipped off of Lenny's hands. The other one was sort of tipped on like a tight window throw. He got the highest passing grade of the game. He looked great. And then Antonio Brown looked really good. He had 5 catches, 121 yards, a touchdown. And 5 catches for 121 yards tells me, he's still got juice. Antonio Brown genuinely still has a lot of juice. Like, it's crazy. For a guy that's like 32, 33, 121 yards on 5 catches is what? I can't do the math. What is it, like almost like 23, 22 yards per reception? Insanity. It's insanity. Now, I'm going to say, I think if someone in your league wants to buy into the idea that Antonio Brown is like a top 18 wide receiver, like a top 15 wide receiver, and wants to, overreact, and you can get a DJ Moore, you can get if you could get someone in that DJ Moore, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, I don't think you can, but I'm saying if you could, I would. But I think in the broad view, I think this game was pretty telling of how this wide receiver room operates. I think that, most of the time there'll probably be two of them that do really well and probably one of them misses out. This is a high variance position anyways. I think that Godwin, if anyone, probably has the most insulation to that variance, where he saw a crazy target share, 30% target share. I think this is it right here. He saw a 30% target share. Antonio Brown saw a 15% target share. Evan saw a 13% target share. And I imagine, 30% target share is insane for Godwin, but Godwin probably settles around 21 to 24% target share. And then I'd imagine that AB and Mike Evans probably hover around that 17 to 20 range when it's all said and done. But I expect all of them to be pretty good. I expect Godwin to be great where you got him. I expect Antonio Brown to be great where you got him. And Evans isn't someone that I'd be panicking on just yet. I know a lot of people have Mike Evans and want to, maybe sell him, look to throw him elsewhere. But I think that he'll have his games. He'll have his games where he kind of gets targeted in the red zone. I will be honest, though, if you paid a third-round price tag on him, I know some people would take him 308, 309. I think that's a tough pill to swallow. I think that it'd be tough. It's tough for me to see how he pays off at that price. But I think that he will be, he'll probably bounce back. He'll have his weeks. I don't think that Evans is someone you need to panic on just yet. I wouldn't feel great about the pick. And I don't think you can really sell him for anything. Now, probably the most horrifying part of last night was the running backs for Tampa Bay. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I started Giovanni Bernard and Ronald Jones in some places. But let me see if I can find this picture real quick. But here's the thing. I start Ronald Jones and I start Giovanni Bernard in some places, but guess what? We have the wide receiver firepower to offset that. Now, let's take this off the screen. Oh, geez. And look at this, fellas. Look at this beauty right here. This is one of my FFPC teams. So the way that these teams work, when you do a hero RB build, your team is built in a way where Ronald Jones, you can take the L of Ronald Jones. Look at this. I had Dak, Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb in this lineup last week. This is me, bragging ever so slightly, but also I started Ronald Jones and Giovanni Bernard in some places. It didn't feel good, but you can afford zeros when you just fully punt that position. We went crazy everywhere else in a lot of these teams, where I started a Ronald Jones, where I started a Giovanni Bernard. Now, okay, so I took that out of here. Now let's talk about the running backs from an actual fantasy perspective. And Fournette kind of took over as the workhorse last night, but it was an absolute shit show because we had a scenario where Ronald Jones fumbled. So at first, Fournette and Ronald Jones were splitting series, and then Giovanni Bernard had the passing down work, which is what we kind of expected. Then Ronald Jones fumbles, gets sent in a doghouse, which is so dumb. It is so insane that after a running back fumbles, Ronald Jones did not see another snap after he fumbled last night, which is crazy to me. And Fournette ends up, just kind of absorbing all of those, which is big. And I think one of the biggest takeaways from Ronald Jones last night is that he had, of Leonard Fournette last night, is he had 42 of 65 snaps, which is pretty crazy. He also saw 7 targets, more than Mike Evans. He was used in the passing game. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not really bought into Leonard Fournette just being, this workhorse on this team. I don't really think that he is now all of a sudden going to be the guy. I think that a lot of people who have Leonard Fournette probably feel good about him. I'm going to be honest, though, if I could sell high on Leonard Fournette, I probably do. Because this is going to be, I don't know if he gets us every game. Ronald Jones isn't going to fumble every game. It seems like it's going to be a true committee. And in that event, I'd probably rather get out of Fournette at his price if I could. If his price goes up to top 30 running back, I'd get out of him. And I'll also say Giovanni Bernard, a guy who I've been loving this season, he'll be probably getting dropped on most of the teams I have him on. This was a guy where he had the upside, and it's good. He's good because he's not a roster clogger. We saw it for week 1. He didn't do anything. This was the game script for him. If Giovanni Bernard was going to pop, this was it. There was 50 pass attempts, and he did nothing. And if we're going to talk about Ronald Jones real quick, I'm scared about Ronald Jones. I'll be honest with you. I liked him this year. The fumble is tough because now we can't start him next week. He needs to like kind of prove himself back to Bruce Arians. So it's a tough scene where with Ronald Jones, we're really hoping that, you know, he gets on the good side of Bruce Arians. Maybe Leonard Fournette is the guy that fumbles next week. It's also so dumb. Leonard Fournette had this one play where he tries to catch a pass, he tips it, and it's intercepted. Why isn't Leonard Fournette in the doghouse as well? But yeah, it's not looking good. Ronald Jones, I wouldn't be playing him next week. I wouldn't play Giovanni Bernard next week. I think that Leonard Fournette moving forward is like a decent flex play. But like I said, if you could move him, if someone's out there like, oh, Leonard Fournette is going to be the workhorse in this offense, I'd probably move him. I don't think that Leonard Fournette is going to see, what did he have last night? 42 of 65 plays. What is like 70% opportunity, 70% snap share last night. I doubt that he sees that rest of season. Then we have the tight ends. And I saw a lot of you guys in the chat talking to me about Gronk. And Gronk went crazy. Gronk is really the only tight end on the Bucs that is really interesting to me. Gronk was the tight end one by far. Saw 37 routes on 50 Brady attempts, so he wasn't even he was blocking a little bit, but he might have not been on the field for a lot of those. And I don't know. I like him. He's definitely going to be the guy over Brayton Howard. Howard sadly only saw one route, so I actually have Howard in a lot of places. Howard is this very like young, explosive tight end. Doesn't seem like it's going to be for him this year. Gronk went out there, put up 8 catches, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Gronk's going to be a back-end tight end 1 this season. I will be honest, if he's on waivers, I wouldn't go crazy for Gronk because I don't think he does this every single week. But I mean, I guess there is a world where he could be like this year's Robert Tonyan, where if Tom Brady goes crazy, Gronk could just score a ton of touchdowns. Grab a quick little water. But yeah, like I said, I wouldn't go crazy on like fab spending for Gronk. I think Gronk is just going to be a solid back-end tight end 1 this year. And that's pretty much it. I just wanted to hop on here, kind of break down what we saw last night. If anybody wants to talk about the game last night, I'm down to chat for a little bit. I'm wondering if I favorite this, does this go on the screen? Can I put these on the screen? Oh, that's pretty dope. This is a new software I'm using, so I'm kind of trying to see how these work. How much fab would I spend on Fournette? And like a zero, I mean, it's pretty crazy that he's on waivers. So I mean, like a 0 RB team, I could see myself going with something among the lines of 20% plus, 30%, something crazy like that. Yo, what's good, EG3? What's good? How do I, if I favorite? So how do you feel about CD? I love CD, brother. CD went crazy last week. And then I saw someone in the comments saying that Gallup is going to be gone. Or for Gallup's gone for like 3 to 5 weeks. So I think CD and Amari are like literally wide receiver 1s. I wouldn't be. They split targets last night, man. I think CD might have CD had 15 targets last night. CD saw 15 targets. Amari saw 16. Like in terms of volume, like it was fine. Just CD just didn't have the same efficiency, which happens sometimes. That's a good question, SS Austin. How do we have 63 people in here yet only now I think we're at 10 likes. Come on, fellas. Get us up there. Got to do well in the algorithm. If we could see, dude, 50 likes would be huge. You said Judy or Tyler Boyd this week? Probably Boyd. Yeah, CD, all the Cowboys receivers, their stock should be going up if Gallup is out for that long. Do you think a PFF? I mean, I use it for content. If I didn't make content, I probably don't buy a PFF subscription. It's cool to look at. but I don't think it's super useful unless if you're making like content, I guess. Yeah, that's true, Derek. If Fournette is on your waiver wire, whoever that was, it might be an instance where there's a lot of good running backs on waivers for you. So you might want to, you essentially are definitely going to want to hold off until Tuesday. You helping people with their roster and lineups right now? Like I'm just like answering questions and stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you have any roster questions, I'll answer. I'll probably hang around for the next like 5 minutes or so. Let me know, how is this stream like clean and stuff? I'm trying to see. I want to do in season more streams like that where I kind of like just do a video live and talk about, have a nice little talk live so I don't have to like edit and do that shit. Kind of see, because like it's so tough in season, dude. When it's literally like, it's so much different when I can record a video on like a Friday and have it up for Monday. We are now in a spot where I cannot record a video Friday, Saturday, Sunday for a video on Monday because every single time everything renews. So the shelf life of videos is so tiny. I don't have time to like edit videos to have them out for time sensitive stuff. So like if I recorded that today, it wouldn't be out until like tomorrow. And then Thursday Night Football is already like out the window by the time we hit Saturday, you know? So I want to do more live streams in season, it just comes down to, the problem is my live streams don't get pushed in the algorithm once they're done being live, which like sucks. My lives don't get as many views as like normal videos, which is like annoying. But I'm trying to, if I do this and I have the graphics on the screen, maybe they'll be more appealing to people after the fact. So we're going to try it out. Yep, exactly. Don't think about it. Just hit that like button, fellas. That's what really helps me out in the algorithm. Once this live is done and it goes into the algorithm, the only way that it gets a bunch of views or it gets more views is from the like button. Deontay or LaVisca. Who started this trend of saying LaVisca? Like, I'm a big LaVisca guy. I have never done the LaVisca thing. Deontay for me. Dak and Brady stacks? Yeah, dude, 100%. You said glad you took tons of Brady tons of AB this year. Could leapfrog Evans. I mean, he possibly could. That's in his range of outcomes. It's in Antonio Brown's range of outcomes where he could just do way better than Mike Evans. And Mike Evans, as much as I've been very indifferent about him. I have him on like maybe one managed league team if he comes to me in like the mid to late fourth. But the problem with Mike Evans, he only saw like an 18% snap share last year. So you're talking about a guy who's like low volume, like high variance with touchdowns and stuff. And if Antonio Brown's going to play a full-time role, okay. So here's the thing. Before I go down that rabbit hole, I'm not super spooked. Let me pull up a really good tweet from Graham Barfield really quick before I go any further. I probably should I could screen share right now, but I'm not going to yet. So Graham Barfield had a really good tweet. Let me pull it up. Yeah, so he pulls up like what Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown all did together last year. Let me pull that up right now. So like in the 11 games that they've played, I mean, I think that includes what happened last night as well. So let me put this up here. So Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown have played 11 full games together. We have Evans with like 48, 764, 7, 15 points. So he leads them in fantasy points per game. That's why I'm not super concerned. Like I definitely do think that Evans gets a bump down after last night, but I still think that he is a fine like mid-range wide receiver too, which is kind of what you drafted him for, you know? I mean, Godwin at 13.6, AB at 12. Like I think Evans at the very worst is probably like even at AB's number of like 12 points per game, that's not the end of the world. I mean, actually it is kind of the end of the world, but said, how do you feel about the Ravens situation after the signing of Murray? Feel about the Ravens RB situation after the signing of Murray? Like pretty much, I'm still pretty much team Tyson Williams, but I do think that Latavius becomes interesting. He said, I think people will have tons of start sit questions for you on Sunday mornings and ad drop on Tuesday nights. Could be solid live streams. I definitely will be. I definitely will be live streaming Sunday mornings. I think Tuesday nights might be an interesting live stream day. But I know for certain I will be going live every Sunday morning, setting my lineups, answering like start sit questions and shit. 1000%. Is Evans a buy low? Honestly, yeah. If you can buy him for like a wide receiver 3 price tag, I would. Yeah, I agree with you, Derek. Like Mike Evans is a guy like he will 1000% he will get to 1,000 yards and like 8 touchdowns this year. But all right, fellas, I appreciate all you guys coming out. Just wanted to hop on here to do that. We'll see how this does in the algorithm. Oh man, someone give me a super chat. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate the donation. We're gonna be doing these live streams where I don't know if I'm gonna do a Thursday night football recap every time, but I'm going to definitely be doing. I think that we're gonna start doing live streams on Saturdays where So hold on, let's actually talk about this for a second. Right now, this is the in-season content schedule. Right now, Monday morning. Let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know if you guys have any critiques or anything like that, and we'll kind of go from there. So this is the plan. Monday morning, I want to go live and give you guys my top 10 takeaways for the week. So, what rookie wide receivers are running a bunch of routes, 0 RB notes, just notes from just kind of my observations on the league. Then Tuesday will be a waiver wire video. Wednesday will be a trade targets video. Thursday is going to be my running back start sits. Friday is going to be my wide receiver start sits where I dive into like individual matchups. Then we're going to go with Saturdays. I'll probably do like a start sit, like Q&A type live stream. So Saturday we'll do the like I said, the start sit live stream with the Q&A, and then Sunday will be me setting my lineup in the morning. So I'm also thinking about with that schedule right now. Let me know how that schedule sounds. I feel like it's pretty solid. I might even have it in my notes and I could pull it up. Let me pull this up real quick because I kind of want to bounce some ideas off of you guys because that Tuesday night live stream is actually very interesting. PS is going crazy. I appreciate you, PS. If you have like a question or something for me, let me know. I appreciate the donation, man. Okay, my bad. I swear to God, if you dropped a question underneath last time after Super Chat, I'm so sorry about that. You said 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, A-Rob or Cup. Man, that's close. That's incredibly close. If I was to guess in 0.5 PPR, I think I'd go Allen Robinson. That's very tough. Let me see who I have higher up in my ranks. By the way, if you guys want my weekly rankings every week, I'm gonna be putting out my weekly rankings, my fab recommendations, and all that on the Patreon, patreon.com/Ron Stewart. So let me actually take a look at that real quick before I just kind of answer that from the hip and give you something off the top of the dome. All right, I'm pulling up my rankings right now. I sat down to do them yesterday. I think I'm going to run through and do some flex rankings. So when I ranked this yesterday, they're in the same tier for me. I prefer Allen Robinson personally. That's my best bet. Is Allen Robinson. So let me pull this up real quick. This is going to be so poorly done, but this is the schedule I put together. So there we go. So like I said, top 10 takeaway stream, waiver wire video, trade targets video, RB start sit video, wide receiver start sit video, Saturday start 'em sit 'em Q&A live stream, Sunday set your lineup with me stream. Now, I'm also thinking, let me know what you guys think about that schedule off the top. I'm also thinking, I think that was a good idea, is Tuesday nights is a waiver, like a waiver live stream on Tuesday nights would be cool. So if I post the waiver wire video earlier in the day, and then that night I go live for like an hour or two and answer like some waiver wire questions. And then I already have a stardom situm like Q&A live stream set up for Saturday, but I also want to do Saturday where I could, so we could do another live stream on Tuesday. We could also add, I'm thinking about just stuff we could add. Saturday we could add I could do a video pretty easily without having to edit it too much, where I go over like my favorite streams for the week. I was thinking about that, like my favorite like quarterback, tight end, defense, kicker streams, like kind of dumpster diving. And I was also thinking that I could also, I do have time to, I could also do streams. I could also do a stream like I did today. If this does well, this Thursday Night Football recap, I could do like a Thursday Night Football recap stream every Friday. So that is also an option. Yeah, a Tuesday night waivers stream could actually be a pretty solid. And I'm gonna answer the super chat from Derek, and then I got to get out of here and get to rankings. This guy Derek is actually out of his mind. Appreciate the donation. The guy said, "Ever fart and mess yourself?" I said I would say that there has been a few times, probably a time or two, where I have done that before. This guy, out of his mind. What do we got? I'm really deciding if we should stay on here for a while. I'm trying to figure out what's better for the algorithm, if I cut this short and keep it more of like a video, or if I kind of keep like the first portion like a normal video, and then I kind of, because I know, I mean, like we still do have like a ton of people in here. All right, fellas. Jeez, now we have 74 people in here. All right. We have more people than we had in the beginning of the stream, but that's all right. I need to go make lunch. I need to go shower. I'm going to finish up. I'm doing the Wait, what's up, Connor? Oh shit, my bad, Connor. Swift or DJ Moore flex half PPR week 1? Huh. Let me take a look. I will say, if you guys keep stringing me along with super chats, I will stay here. Let me look this up. Let me see where I have these guys. So in half PPR, I like Swift as a play this week, to be honest with you. That's got to be a very deep league to be picking between these two, though. Man. Like, my gut says DeAndre Swift, because I'm really not that concerned about DeAndre Swift's health, but I would hate to tell you DeAndre Swift and then he busts your team. So, that's very tough, man. Like, I personally would say, man, that's tough, man. That's tough. I do think I'd say DJ Moore. I'll go DJ Moore. I know some people are off. What's his name? You said you have half PPR rankings. I don't have dedicated half PPR rankings. I will very soon, though. I'm working with Fantasy Pros right now. I'm working to get approved by them, and if they approve me, which they should probably in the next like couple days, then I can have like half PPR ranks, PPR standard ranks, has like my flex all the way like through the top 250. It's gonna be dope. Just need to get approved by them first. Derek with another super chat. God, Derek is violating, bro. Dude, I genuinely don't have a sister, bro, and I'm glad, dude. Derek would be frying me if I had a sister. He fries me for having a sister that I don't even have. But yeah, I don't have a sister to show off, thankfully. Be literally fighting for my life on YouTube. What's up, Connor? I appreciate the donation, man. Yeah, I can't see why I wouldn't get approved, but I hope I do. I hope I do, because if I do, it would make ranking so much easier. You said Fant or Tanyan, 10-team half PPR week 1. My gut says Fant. I'll look at where I have them real quick. My gut says Tanyan is what I meant to say. Yeah, I would go Tanyan there. I would go Tanyan, especially in a half PPR. You're kind of just hoping your tight end scores a touchdown. Let me make sure that's how I have it. What do I have this as? Yeah, I have Tanyan. This guy Derek is a menace. Super chat. Going to text mom and ask her. I still got some digits. This guy is literally a menace. I appreciate the donation though. All right, fellas. I gotta go. I think that's a good idea, EG3. I'm gonna see how this one does, and then it's just gonna be a lot of experimenting going forward to try and get these live streams to get into the algorithm, but we'll see. I'm still new to YouTube. We'll figure these things out. But I appreciate all you guys coming out. Make sure you leave that like button. Hit that like button. It helps us out so much, fellas. I'm telling you guys, it helps us out a lot. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're going to be dropping daily content this season, even more than daily. Now, that's going to do it for us today. As always, you can find me at @RonStore_ on Twitter. I'll see you guys in the next one.